Meghan got fed up with this because she wants her to do exactly what she wants when she tells her.
Developing today, Meghan Markle's TV fallout with her mother, Doria Ragland, over just 2 words. Now, you'll know things have not been good between these two for some time. Doria is certainly these days less inclined, shall we say, to be used in the barrage of Ms. Markle PR that seems to come with being this woman's daughter, unless, of course, you happen to be a white man having lost his leg in a hospital in the Philippines, then she wants nothing to do with you. But Doria's just not keen. She's no longer at the house. She's no longer playing a serious role raising the children. Things have been tense because, of course, for many years, Doria was not there at all, even though that is part of Meghan's history that she now intends to rewrite. But this latest fallout, according to Radar Online, was specifically over a so-called dig at Doria that everyone has missed. So we're going to get lots of analysis on this from our Royal Mastermind and Prince Harry's biographer Angela Levin imminently. But first, let me take you through this new reporting from Radar Online. They say Meghan Markle has become embroiled in fresh claims of family tension after a remark in her Netflix series was interpreted as a veiled dig at her mother, Doria Ragland, prompting talk of a quiet rift between the Duchess of Sussex and the woman who once lived with her to help raise her children. Radar Online can reveal the claims centre on Markle and her mother and Prince Harry following the release of With Love Meghan on Netflix in late 2025. The lifestyle series was intended to reset Markle's public image in the United States, but has instead sparked scrutiny of her family relationships. Observers told us a single phrase used to describe Ragland has taken on huge significance amid rumours she is freezing out her mom from her life. Now, here are the 2 words. It's free spirit. Markle refers to her mother as a free spirit on the show, a line that passed largely unnoticed at first, but has since been re-examined by royal watchers and people familiar with the family. One source close to the Sussexes said the wording was deliberate. The insider added, on the face of it, it sounded warm, but among those who know them, it came across as a quiet step back, signalling that Meghan and Doria have very different ideas about parenting and family. Another added it came across less as praise and more as a subtle point of difference. Ragland previously spent extended periods living with Meghan and Harry after the birth of Archie and Lily, helping with childcare as the couple adjusted to life outside the UK. According to a separate source, that arrangement has ended for good. They tell Radar Doria was once a regular fixture in the household, closely involved in caring for the children with Meghan and Harry, but she is no longer living there and people around them have taken note. Those familiar with the production of With Love Meghan said the description of Ragland was discussed internally. This is interesting. A television insider telling the magazine everyone involved knew that each personal remark would be scrutinised, and the language about Meghan's mother drew notice for setting Meghan up as a deliberate, highly organised parent in contrast to a more free-spirited Doria. The insider added the contrast echoed themes Markle has emphasised about discipline, planning and control in her own parenting. Friends of Ragland, however, have pushed back on the suggestion that she took offence, but acknowledged a shift in dynamics between mother and daughter. One said Doria's self-reliance has long been one of her defining qualities, but the everyday intimacy she and Meghan once had has faded. Another said the comment reopened old sensitivities, added it came across as a unnecessary tag applied in a very public way. So Angela Levin, you've been on this one for some time. What's really going on between Meghan Markle and her mother, Doria?
Tonight, we uncover a story that cuts far deeper than palace gossip. Dan is joined by Outspoken's royal mastermind, Angela Levin, to reveal the growing fallout between Meghan Markle and her once inseparable mother, Doria Ragland. For years, Doria was portrayed as Meghan's rock, her protector, her quiet ally, her moral compass. But behind the carefully curated images and public appearances, insiders now suggest something has fractured. Angela Levin lifts the lid on what may have triggered the tension, from Hollywood pressures and brand ambitions to control, loyalty and money. What was once a powerful mother-daughter bond now appears strained, distant, and increasingly absent from public view. The big question: why now, and why so publicly silent? If you want the truth behind royal narratives the mainstream media won't touch, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications right now. You won't want to miss what comes next.
Doria is a very easygoing woman. She likes to see her friends, she likes to do yoga, and she's very easygoing. Well, Meghan got fed up with this because she wants her to do exactly what she wants when she tells her. And I think she got fed up with it. I mean, she was very, very helpful, sometimes there for 3 months, but she got fed up there because she felt that they were using her too much, going out, getting her to cook, go and buy the shopping. I mean, she's not a very young woman anymore. And although she would want to help, doing all that plus looking after 2 children is a lot of work. And Meghan doesn't want to do all the dog's body work, and she got cross with her mother because she wasn't there all the time when she wanted her. You see, she can't actually make a good relationship with anyone because she has to have it her way. It must be. And she gets very fed up if people don't immediately do what she wants. That's why she's had so many aides who leave. That's why, Harry's fed up. She just is a woman who thinks that she's the only person who can make decisions. Now, she hasn't had any children before, and whatever the answer is about those 2 little ones, she's with them a lot, but she does it really there to then do something out of it, to get something out of it that's useful, to talking about how good she is with children, or that, what a sweetie this one is. And it's not really what they need and what they want. I'm sure they must be extremely fed up with not being allowed to look at anybody if they're out. They have these pictures on front of them if they're in a book or a newspaper, and I think that's what it is. And they probably had a row because Meghan always wants it her way. She wants something done now. And so she said she's going off, but she won't complain. She hasn't complained about anything right from the start. And when people said to her, gosh, you're taking on quite a lot, she said, oh, no, it's all right, it's fine. She never has said, well, Meghan's an absolutely awful person and it's terrible. It's her daughter and she's tried to cope, and that's how she's getting on. But it must be very sad for her. But the thing that really upsets me is that now the children have no family, not one, not one. So what a way to bring them up. I mean, it's just breathless when it could be different. I mean, saying they're going to come to England and they're going to go to school, that to me is absolute nonsense because it's years ahead. And if you're going to
Well, it
just
might be too late.
yeah, but if you're going to leave them in London, then they're not even going to see their parents because they're certainly not going to stay for years. It's too upsetting, and they don't have parents, fathers, grandfathers, uncles, cousins on either side. And that's why they spent their Christmas in pajamas, because nobody wanted to see them and they just hung around like that. I really think so. I don't think people want to have anything to do with them. The more they see them, the more they're with them, the more they realize how awful their situation is and they don't want to do it. Whereas, you can say, well, the more I get to know this person, I really like them. I think, it's just a bit strong in their language, but they are very nice. It's not that. I think for her to be by herself I don't think even Harry was there, or maybe if he was at Christmas, is absolutely astonishing. But she can't dare that's not what she wanted. She'd have gone to any party, we all know that. But there was no party that wanted to ask her.
No, and this week, Angela, it's also been reported that Meghan and Harry snubbed Catherine's birthday party. This is well, not birthday party, of course, there wasn't a party, but just a
Celebration.
birthday altogether, a celebration, a private celebration. Rob Shooter reporting that royal circles are buzzing about this. Here was what he wrote on Shooter's Scoop. He said, insiders tell me the Sussexes didn't lift a finger. No card, no text, no email, nothing, not a peep. It's deliberate, a palace source added. They're making it clear they're done. It's a line in the sand. Kensington Palace marked the day with the final instalment of Catherine's year-long Mother Nature series, shot in serene early morning light in Berkshire. The video shows her walking alone, reflecting on fear, loss, and gratitude. Even in the coldest, darkest season, winter has a way of bringing us stillness, patience, and quiet consideration. She said it was lovely, wasn't it? And a source close to the princess telling Shooter Scoop, this birthday wasn't about fanfare. It's about her claiming her own peace. She's sending a message without words. She doesn't need Meghan and Harry's approval of drama in her life. This from another insider. The Sussexes are still railing in the media, but Kate, she's calm, grounded, moving forward. It's a quiet power play. But not everyone sees it as cold. A source close to Harry and Meghan insists there's no calculated snub. They really wanted Catherine to have space, the source says. This isn't spite, it's respect for what she's been through. Royal observers note the contrast in approaches. Catherine's composed reflection versus the Sussexes' ongoing public battles. It's like night and day. One insider said she's choosing peace. They're still in the arena. I mean, I don't think Catherine gave a damn, if I'm honest. Angela, do you? I mean, do you think she wanted to hear from them? I don't. They have no contact. Stay away. Stay away, actually.
I think she'd be delighted that they stayed away, because I imagine that if they said something, there'd be some sort of nasty little word in there somehow. And she's not friendly with them. They didn't send them birthdays and Christmas things either. So it's not that she's brought great presents and they have done nothing. It's not going to work. And the less she is with them, the happier they are. William can't stand it, and she can knock it out. And I think if you're a mother with 3 children and a father who's very kind, and another father who is really keen to see you and talk to you, I mean, there's plenty to do. Plenty to do. And she's got lots of things with her early
Early childhood stuff, yeah.
Early childhood, yes.
But Angela, this was such a lovely moment. I mean, I'm just watching. It was just adorable. And you saw that moment there where she showed off the engagement ring. Can you believe, Angela, that the Wicked Witch of the Daily Mail, Liz Jones, who I think is working in cahoots with Buckingham Palace, decided to attack Catherine for this? I mean, I'll tell you what she said in just one moment, but could you see any reason that Catherine deserved to be attacked for that wonderful video on her birthday?
She's a very negative person. I remember sitting with her at the awards, and she was sitting next to me. I got it, you see. And she was absolutely furious. So she said that was ridiculous that I had it, not her. She gave me a lecture. So
well, because you'd beaten her.
Yeah. So I just thought it was a different type of writing. But and she was very, very angry. And I just thought, poor thing. A lot of people were coming up to her and saying, oh, never mind, it'll happen sometime. And I can't remember how many came to me, because I'm not interested in that sort of way. But she just has a sort of negative thing. She's always having these boyfriends who she hates and makes them awful, and her life is terrible. And she's a very, lefty, spiteful woman, and she'd just do that because she'd be jealous, because she's beautiful. Not her, the princess is beautiful. She's got a very happy family, and she just wants to try and knock it. I think they've obviously got her to do that, because otherwise you wouldn't choose somebody who's so negative.
No, I mean, I'm going to give you my theory in just one moment. Can I just tell you though, Angela, do you know, I once went to Florida with Liz Jones, and we were both there to interview Justin Bieber, believe it or not. This was in my old life, you know, the pop star. And I have no personal issue with Liz Jones. It was a very amusing trip. You know, she's a funny woman, and seeing her and Justin Bieber together was quite something. It's not that I personally have a problem with her. It's that I have a problem with the fact that she is attacking Catherine, the Princess of Wales, for doing good. And I believe it is part of a plot. I honestly do. This is what, according to Taz, wrote about it, Angela. She said, I knew it wouldn't be long before the other Daily Mail witch located her broomstick. It was just a matter of time after Amanda Patel took flight with her forked tongue. Predictable.
In this second half, Dan and Angela go deeper, examining how this reported rift could impact Meghan's carefully managed image and future plans. Angela explains why Doria's sudden step back may not be accidental, and how cracks inside the Markle family could signal wider instability behind the scenes. As Meghan faces mounting criticism, fading influence, and relentless scrutiny, even her closest relationships may no longer be immune. Is this simply a private family issue, or the clearest sign yet that Meghan's world is quietly unravelling? One thing is certain. The silence is louder than ever. Share your thoughts in the comments. Is this fallout real, or just another chapter in a carefully controlled story? Subscribe now for exclusive royal analysis, insider insight, and unfiltered truth, right here
That's
on
what
the channel.
Liz Jones said. And by the way, I'm going to read this out, Angela, some selections of it. And it's not because I'm endorsing it or trying to give it attention, but I think sometimes you actually have to look at the very thin nature of these attacks on Catherine, the Princess of Wales, to understand how ridiculous it is, how ludicrous it is, how unfair it is. So I am going to read it. It's not obviously me endorsing it. Well, I think everyone knows it's not me endorsing it, but it's because you need to understand why this is just so nuts. So she writes, in the midst of this cold weather gloom, it was surprising to see the latest video from the Princess of Wales. It is, of course, wonderful to see Kate looking so radiant, healthy and strong after the terrible cancer diagnosis. They always do this, don't they, Angela? It's like, I'm about to say something horrible, so I have to say something nice first. And she said, when she released her first video in summer announcing she was on the mend, I wrote about how moving I found it and that it had brought me to tears. Yet watching her latest video, I felt once again a little twitch of worry about the direction in which the slick Palace PR team seemed to be directing her. I mean, again, this is so offensive. I've got to step in here. She's not being directed. Do you not understand? Catherine went through a near-death experience. She went through a life-changing cancer battle. She's doing this because she believes in it and she's passionate about it. So stop trying to present her as some type of pathetic woman. Liz Jones goes on. As I wrote about the first video she released, cancer is messy, imperfect, and shattering. But the most recent of these strange films seems to be a misfire from a family once so protective of their privacy. It smacks of something Meghan and Harry might come up with. The feature showed our future queen all nicely swaddled in Holland Cooper tweed and furry-lined wellies. She wafted in a winter wonderland, leant on a picturesque ancient bridge, and dangled her elegant fingers in a babbling brook. Kate took the opportunity to mark her 44th birthday by releasing the video. Some sycophants would say modern, but I would say unwise. Fears are washed away. I found myself shouting, "Not Diana's engagement ring," at the post that showed it glinting perilously on her finger. I am so sorry to say this on her birthday, but who on earth told Kate releasing this video today of all days when so many people are struggling was a good idea? It's not just unfortunate timing, its tone shows she, and by extension the Prince of Wales, have come unstuck. So she's going in there now. You know, she started off all soft. Oh, this was so, so great to see Catherine. Now she's like, this is terrible, and they're unstuck, and it's William's fault. No matter how many hospital wards or scout troops she might visit, she is missing the mark on how to truly empathise with the British public. And given the deep affection and respect we hold Kate in, that's such a pity. The 3-minute Nature Fest shows Kate is as out of touch as if she had released a film of herself sitting on a throne wearing a crown or waving from a private jet as she heads off to the Caribbean or on another skiing joint. She is delivering an idealized 1930s vision of rural life that no longer exists or perhaps only survives inside the royal parks and estates. Her diction, too, is reminiscent of the late Queen's early Christmas messages to the nation, as clipped as one of Charles's Hugh Hedges. Far worse, though, is her whole nature is our quiet teacher shtick, that it helps us to heal. I am afraid this misguided way of thinking reminds me of the Salt Path scandal, in which a seriously ill man claims a several hundred-mile hike and bracing sea air cured him. So now she's comparing Catherine to that total stitch-up. And then she just went through a whole load of the troll comments. And she said, the most telling comment I saw, she might not have had the same outcome if, like most of us with cancer, she had run the gauntlet of the often incompetent NHS. Liz Jones went on, Kate is supposed to be on our side to show she's human, she understands we're grown-ups and we can take a dose of reality. For me, her latest video, and this is where I was like, oh my God, Liz Jones has been on the red wine. This is crazy, because she says, for me, her latest video is even worse than the infamous 1969 fly-on-the-wall documentary of the royal family at home, because at least that showed them bickering and barbecuing. Sorry, Kate, I adore you, but this feels far away. Anyone who's really struggling. There's a typo in that last line. Liz, you're missing a word. You should have said, but this feels far away from anyone who's really struggling. But I mean, to me, it was just an extraordinary attack, Angela, a really extraordinary attack. And she went way too far.
It was very, very spiteful. And it looks like if she's jogged from one to the other, she was told to do that. I mean, why would she do that? It would either come out or she'd be told to put it in. I mean, it is unbelievably spiteful. What I do say, to soften it just a slightly bit, that, you know, she was saying sort of nature is my sanctuary. You know, the river inside us flow with ease. You know, she said all these things of absolutely genuinely loving nature. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But some people can make fun of that because it's not actually being rational, down to earth. It's being something that really helps you and inside your emotions. So it's incredibly unkind to do that because you're trying to destroy somebody who has that feeling immensely, largely, and you're trying to spoil it. So, you know, they never read all that, but it's a horrible thing to do. It's unnecessary, and to compare it with even worse things is disgusting.
Yeah, no, it was. But here's my theory, Angela, and it's more than just a theory, okay? Because I used to work there. A lot of this has been driven by Buckingham Palace, because Tobin Andre, who is the current communications secretary for King Charles, used to be my boss at the Mail, certainly would have overseen a lot of the work by Amanda Platel and Liz Jones, because it just doesn't make sense to me, Angela, that all of a sudden these two women, especially Amanda, have had this total 180 on Catherine and William.
Do you think, here we are, this has just come to me and I just said, do you think they're actually doing some nasty things to help them when the court comes out with something, because they want to show that they are covering everything, so that they are sort of a bit against Meghan and they're a bit against Harry, but they are pro this one, they are pro that one. You know, they didn't want anyone to make them be too good and nice about anybody who's in the monarchy, and certainly not Meghan and Harry. So certainly not Catherine. So they want to sort of hit the nastiness over there. It sounds rubbish, doesn't it? But there must be some reason why the Mail that actually likes the monarchy is doing this nastiness.
Well, they're at war with Catherine and William, because Charles's team view Catherine and William as a threat. I think it's terrible. I really do think it's terrible. They're also very unhappy with William and Catherine for not revealing to them the details of their new home. When the Mail says they had that information before anyone else. Now, look, this is something that can be very annoying as a journalist. I do understand that, but there were also security reasons, Angela, around that move.
And that's why they won't let them go to anybody in any Highgrove, you see. That's protected, and you can't have somebody going there and saying where this door will open very easily and the other one won't. I mean, it's very difficult, isn't it? Who would want to be an aide in a palace? You know, it's very, very hard.
It is.
I don't know why they're being nasty. I don't see why they should.
It is. But the thing is, it's just like, look, some people disagree with me on this. Actually, I do criticize William and Catherine. I do. And a lot of people don't like that. But I only do it, Angela, if they're deserving of it. If they've done something wrong. I just think this is taking something that was so pure and so important to Catherine. That's what's really upsetting to me about it, actually. Because this meant the
I agree
world
with
to
you.
her.
I agree with you. I agree with you. No one should be attacking her about anything because she's been so dignified and worked hard to get better
Yeah,
and brought some
absolutely.
wonderful children into the world.
Absolutely. And by the way, I mean, comparing it to, the reality TV series on the royal family is ludicrous. I mean, that dominated headlines for weeks and weeks and weeks. Actually, the reaction to Catherine's message, barring a few Sussex Squad trolls, and you're going to get the Sussex Squad trolls on everything. There'll be a few Sussex Squad trolls watching right now, Angela. They're probably paid for by someone. I don't even trust that they're real people. They're probably AI bots or something like that. You get those Sussex Squad trolls and everything. But actually, if you look at the overwhelming reaction to that video from Catherine, it was